Welcome back. We will explore the next topic in Module 5, Firewalls, which is part of the cybersecurity course. Network Address Translation, in short NAT. To access Internet, one public IP address is needed, but as you see, we use private IP address in our private network. Translation of private IP address to a public IP address required. Network address translation NAT is a process in which one or more local IP addresses is translated into one or more global IP addresses and vice versa in order to provide internet access to the local host. NAT generally operates on router or firewall. Network address translation works generally in the border router, which is configured for NAT, the router which have one interface in local network and one interface in a global network. When a packet traverses outside the local network, then NAT converts that local private IP address to a global public IP address. When a packet enters the local network, the public IP address is converted to local IP address. If NAT run out of addresses, that is, no address is left in the pool configured, then the packets will be dropped and an Internet Control Message Protocol ICMP host unreachable packet to the destination is sent. NAT inside and outside addresses. Inside refers to the addresses which must be translated. Outside refers to the addresses which are not in control of an organization. These are the network addresses in which the translation of the addresses will be done. There are three ways to configure NAT: static NAT, dynamic NAT, and PAT. Static NAT, in this, a single unregistered private IP address is mapped with a legally registered public IP address, that is one-to-one mapping between local and global addresses. This is generally used for web hosting. These are not used in organization as there are many devices who will need internet access and provide internet access. Public IP address is needed. Suppose if there are 3,000 devices who need access to internet, the organization have to buy 3,000 public addresses. That will be very costly. Dynamic NAT. In this type of NAT, an unregistered IP address is translated into a registered public IP address from a pool of public IP addresses. If the IP address of pool are not free, then the packet will be dropped as only fixed number of private IP addresses can be translated to public addresses. Suppose if there is a pool of 2 public IP addresses, then only 2 private IP addresses can be translated at a given time. If third private IP address wants to access the internet, then the packet will be dropped. Therefore, many private IP addresses are mapped to a pool of public IP addresses. NAT is used when the number of users who wants to access the internet are fixed. This is also very costly as the organizations have to buy many global IP addresses to make a pool. Port address translation, PAT. This is also known as network address translation overload. In this, many local IP addresses which are private can be translated to single registered IP address. Port numbers are used to distinguish the traffic, that is, which traffic belongs to which IP address. This is most frequently used as it is cost effective, as thousands of users can be connected to the internet by using one global public IP address. Port forwarding, another important concept in the module 5, firewalls. In computer networking, port forwarding or port mapping is an application of network address translation that redirects a communication request from one address and port number combination to another while the packets are traversing a network gateway such as router or firewall. This technique is most commonly used to make services on a host residing on a protected or masqueraded internal network available to hosts on the opposite side of the gateway, that is external network. By remapping the destination IP address and port number of the communication to an internal host. Why port forwarding? Important topic to understand. Port forwarding is an excellent way to preserve public IP addresses. It can protect servers and clients from unwanted access, hide the services and servers available on a network, and limit access to and from a network. Port forwarding is transparent to the end user and adds an extra layer of security to networks. In short, port forwarding is used to keep unwanted traffic off. It allows network administrator to use one IP address for all external communications on the internet while dedicating multiple servers with different IPs and ports to tasks internally. Port forwarding is useful for home networks users who may wish to run a web server or gaming server on one network. The network administrator can set up a single public IP address on router to translate requests to the proper server on the internal network. By using only one IP address to accomplish multiple tasks and dropping all traffic that is unrelated to the services provided at the firewall. The administrator can hide from the outside world that services are running on the network. Friends, we have discussed network address translation and port forwarding, which are two important subtopics in the module 5 firewalls part of the cybersecurity course. Thank you. Have a nice day. We will look at more details of the firewall in the next class.